Look at me. He shot at me. I was at home. He was at home. Is she at home? He felt at home. I get up at 6:30. I get up at 7 o'clock. She is mad at me. She looked at me. She stared at me. He is at his desk. I got up at 7. I'm bad at sports. Judy looked at me. She smiled at him. We got up at dawn. Get me up at 8. He works at a bank. I'm good at tennis. Look at that smoke. She pointed at him. He'll return at 6. I stared at the man. I'll be back at 6. I'll be back at 10. You must go at once. Did you speak at all? I left home at 7. I'm good at Japanese. I'm not at all tired. Can beat me at chess. Look at that picture. She's good at tennis. Call me at the office. He is good at singing. I go to bed at 11. I got up at about 6. Look at that building. Look at that mountain. Make yourself at home. Will you stay at home? He didn't study at all. I study hard at school. I'm busy at the moment. Is your mother at home? Let's leave it at that. She's at the hotel now. Someone is at the door. Are you good at cooking? Billy is good at sports. Bob will be home at 6. I saw him looking at me. Is your husband at home? It was her turn at last. Ken is good at swimming. She aimed at the target. Take a look at this map. The train leaves at 6. Turn left at the corner. What are you looking at? What are you staring at? Education starts at home. I telephoned her at once. I usually wake up at 6. She looked up at the sky. She's at work, isn't she? The class begins at 8:30. We have to start at once. Come at any time you like. Come at 10 o'clock sharp. Come to my house at 8. Don't look at me that way. His smile put her at ease. I go to bed late at night. I met him at the barber's. I usually get up at 8. I usually shower at night. I was at a loss for words. Is she staying at a hotel? She looked at him angrily. Staying at home is boring. The opera starts at 7. They arrived at the hotel. They smiled at each other. Was Ken at home yesterday? Banks open at 9 o'clock. He doesn't watch TV at all. He had an accident at work. He is studying at his desk. He was absent at roll call. I'll call for you at 3. She saw him at the station. She smiled at him uneasily. There is a man at the door. Were you at home yesterday? He threw a stone at the dog. He was standing at the door. I arrived at school on time. I must help her at any cost. I threw a stone at the bird. It's boring to stay at home. Mary is sitting at the desk. May I look at your passport? She attends school at night. Smile at the camera, please. Who threw a stone at my dog? I aimed my gun at the target. I asked him to leave at once. I can't speak English at all. I was laughed at by everyone. I will stay at home tomorrow. I'm used to being laughed at. Let's begin at the beginning. Look at the notes on page 10. Mary arrived at the hospital. She didn't like him at first. She is good at imitating him. Stop staring at me like that. The conference ended at 5. The train leaves at 2:30 p.m. Turn left at the first light. We'll be home at about 11 o'clock. What did she buy at the shop? What was served at the party? You'd better go home at once. A car stopped at the entrance. A crowd gathered at the scene. At last, the baby fell asleep. Call me at 6:30, please. His advice didn't help at all. I am never at home on Sundays. I can walk at least 2 miles. I relaxed at home last Sunday. I was looking at old pictures. I'm good at playing the piano. Linda came home late at night. Look at me when I talk to you. She is good at playing tennis. She pointed her finger at him. She stared at him with hatred. Tom got angry at the children. We are staying at our uncle's. We got there at the same time. Bob usually goes to bed at 10. He carried 6 boxes at a time. He works with me at the office. He's always at home on Sundays. I couldn't stand looking at it. I don't mind getting up at 6. I get up at 6 in the morning. I had a good time at the party. I hear you are good at cooking. I showed my ticket at the door. What did she buy at that store? What was the score at halftime? You'd better go to bed at once. Bob always goes to bed at 10 o'clock. Both countries are now at peace. Do you know if Grace is at home? Everything is all right at home. He got off at the next bus stop. He lives at the top of the hill. He's good at this sort of thing. I can't feel at home in a hotel. I didn't enjoy the party at all. I'm short of cash at the moment. My mother is not always at home. See you tomorrow at the library. The express arrives at 6:30 p.m. This date too isn't accurate at all. Tom arrived late at the station. Were you at school at that time? He's not at all afraid of snakes. I don't understand German at all. I get up at 6 almost every day. I was very surprised at the news. Liquor is not sold at this store. Please call me at my hotel later. She got married at the age of 25. She picked him up at the station. The history class starts at 9. Tom gets up at 6 every morning. We arrived at the office on time. We got up at 4 in the morning. Can you pick me up at the station? Come and see me at 11 o'clock. I am supposed to meet him at 4. I will pick him up at the station. Let me have a look at the picture. She stared at him in astonishment. The hunters aimed at the elephant. The lake is deepest at this point. They sell eggs at the supermarket. We all laughed at his pink tuxedo. He is supposed to be at home today. He was reading a book at that time. He went to Paris at the end of May. He's better at the piano than I am. He's not good at remembering names.